What up, squad? It's your friendly neighborhood Robo Riv, and in this episode of Art of Nick Rivers, I am going to show you how I came up with the latest cover for Tyrannosaurus Hex, #1, The Rise of Ruin, by using an old cover of Tyrannosaurus Hex, The Rise of Ruin, and that's what you're looking at right now in front of you. This is the preview edition cover that I created back in 2014, between 2014 and 2015 for Tyrannosaurus Hex, as kind of like a little sampler edition of this book. It's very rare. The book itself is very rare. I only had it available for purchase online for a very short window of time before I released the full issue of Tyrannosaurus Hex. At the time, that was underneath the Omniclips Comics label. But now I got a new label called Black River Studio LLC. And you'll be hearing more about Black River Studio. Matter of fact, I have a new YouTube channel for Black River Studio. But in this video, I'm going to show you how I use this cover art to create sort of a hybrid between this image and, well, between my art style of then and now. So I had always loved this image for Tyrannosaurus Hex. As a matter of fact, it's one of the first images that popped up in my noggin when I came up with the idea of this world where dinosaurs peacefully coexisted with humans through the special shaman called the Isilo Sangoman. That's what Makai, who you see in front of you, that's what he is. But I stripped down, I took all the colors away in my file. I found the file for that poster, for that artwork, took all the colors off. I blue lined the inks, the finished line art, and I took my red pencil out and marked the areas that I thought needed to be completely redrawn. And as you can see, I'm going for it right here, and redrawing it with more of a sensibility of, okay, if I were to start completely over with this comic book and redraw it with my knowledge that I have now and my, I guess my sensibilities as an inker now and as a penciler now, like what would I do differently? So I redrew a few sections. I would say like the biggest change is the dinosaur in the back. I added a lot more detail that was missing in the initial line art for this. And the reason why I think maybe I wasn't quite as detailed as I was back when I drew this, roughly 8 years ago, is I just didn't have the know-how. I just didn't have the skill level, and drawing dinosaurs was pretty new to me at the time. So I got better, after 3 issues of drawing Tyrannosaurus Hex, and years of improvement is what you see now. There's also Makai's face. I feel like the new line art has a lot more personality than the initial line art for this piece. But I definitely wanted to keep the composition the same. I think the composition's still strong. Doing this, a lot of, some of you may be asking, well, why are you bringing this back? Why are you bringing this story back that you've had, that you didn't complete? why are you bringing it back into the fold now under Black River Studio? And the simple answer is it wasn't originally in the plans. And I'm gonna have to be careful about how I speak about this, because I'm not trying to throw anybody underneath the bus or anything. But initially, this was going to be like a test run for a partnership with somebody else, and it didn't quite I don't know how to say this other than that partnership didn't really, well, it hasn't happened yet, and there may still be room for it somewhere in the future, but it wasn't originally a part of my plan. But I was doing this artwork, and after redrawing this piece that you're seeing right now and using it for the cover art for issue 1, for the reprints of Tyrannosaurus Hex, I also did some artwork for the reissue of issues number 2 and issues number 3 of Tyrannosaurus Hex. And I think it really sunk in while I was redrawing the cover art for Tyrannosaurus Hex number 2. Man, I would really love to just get back into this story and draw issues 4, 5, and 6. You see, initially, this Rise of Ruin Tyrannosaurus Hex story was going to be 6 issues long. And after issue number 3 came out, man, that was a rough period of my life personally. I was relocating from Florida to Omaha, and the sales as far as like how many books sold of issue 3, which I thought at the time, and I still stand by it, it's still the best drawn issue of Tyrannosaurus Hex. The artwork had improved, leaps and bounds from the second issue. And I was a little crushed because I barely sold any books of number 3, and I just felt like we live in a supply and demand world, and the demand wasn't there, and I didn't sell very many issues, but at the same time I wasn't really promoting. I didn't have the energy to promote it. And I didn't know if it kind of left me with the question, am I good enough at doing this to try to even make it a career? And so I didn't stop drawing, but I shelved drawing comic books for almost 8 years after that. And now that I'm back at it, and I say almost 8 years because last year I started drawing my super secret comic book that I've alluded to in several other videos. I started working on that, and hopefully next year I can start sharing some details with you guys about that. But I had it was a rough time, and I took it to heart and didn't know if this was a story that anyone would be interested in. But at the time I didn't realize that I wasn't doing enough to get it out there. And I don't plan on making that same mistake this time around. So what I'm doing is I'm re-releasing issues 1 through 3 with new cover art. And the plan is, I'll also be releasing a Kickstarter campaign for Tyrannosaurus Hex to see if there's the interest of doing 4, 5, and 6. And it's going to be, I'm not sure if the campaign will get fully funded. It's the first time I've ever done anything like this, my first Kickstarter campaign. So it's really going to rely on you guys that are watching this video. So share it with your friends, share it with everyone you know, and also just picking up the books. Issue number 1 is up for pre-order right now on BlackRiverStudioLLC.com. I know that's a long website name. That's all that was available. But if you want to pick up number 1, if you don't have a copy of it, I strongly suggest picking up. It's a real fun story. It's a adventure fantasy story about this family called the Mokabi family, the royal Mokabi family, that live in the Isilo Ginkgo village, which is like a little forest village town. And the world of Tyrannosaurus Hex, which in story, the world is referred to Isiyingi, which is a Zulu word for circle. But Isiyingi is this world, this vast world, different territories. Some territories are more developed than others. And in this world, there are the Isilo Sangoma, the lizard shaman, and Ruin, who is Rex Ruin, the big bad guy in this story. He is this exiled Sangoma who finds his way back to civilization, so to speak, and he decides he wants revenge on all the Sangomas by eliminating them. And the way he's able to do this is he has mastered the art of necromancy. So he uses his necromancy to bring back dinosaurs that have died. So he's got this like this squad of undead dinos and zombie warriors that start to become a major problem with some of the different territories of Isiyingi. And what you're seeing also right now on screen, you're seeing how I colored this by using the old colors of that I had previously had, because I was a little short on time and I didn't want to. I really did love the colors that I did previously. It was really just the line art that I wasn't. Well, I was still a fan of it, but I knew I could have stronger line art. And honestly, if this is successful, if the Kickstarter campaign gets fully funded and I go back and draw, I dust off my scripts and draw 4, 5, and 6. I'm also having in mind to possibly, if that's a go, maybe do another Kickstarter campaign to redraw issues 1, 2, and 3. And kind of use the same technique that I'm using, where I keep the colors intact, but just redraw the line art to just strengthen it up, beef it up, make it look a little stronger. I've definitely matured in my my penciling and inking abilities since way back then, 8 years ago, and I'm a stickler for things having continuity. So I know it's gonna bug me if this campaign gets funded and I do the next 3, the last 3 issues of this. It may bug me on a personal level that the art's a little inconsistent and it'll look like another person drew it, but I don't want that to stop me from continuing and furthering this story. So if this seems like a project that you may be interested in backing, make sure to follow the Black River Studio YouTube channel and stick around after this video. I will tag on to this video a little ad of Tyrannosaurus Hex to give you an idea of what you're getting involved into. I know I didn't explain a whole lot about the plot in this video, but that ad will kind of cover that. Thank you guys again for spending a little bit of your day with me. I really appreciate it. If you'd like to see more videos like the one you're seeing now, hit that little bell notification icon, subscribe to Art of Nick Rivers, and I'll have more good stuff for you down the pipeline. Anyway, stay safe, guys. Love you. Peace.
Isiyingi, a world where humans and prehistoric beasts roam peacefully due to the Isilo Sangoma, otherwise known as the Lizard Shaman. These powerful shaman are trained in the art of the Isilo Hex, a gaze that transfixes the great lizards of the land. When an exiled Sangoma returns with the power to raise the dead, it's up to the Mokabi family and the friends they make along the way to stop his reign of vengeance and brutality. Originally published in 2015 by Omniclips Comics, Tyrannosaurus Hex makes a new home here at Black River Studio.